Hi friends, it's Jiaxuan here. Today, I want to deep dive into Palantir's AIP or their Artificial Intelligence platform because I want to see whether they are just riding the AI hype or their product is actually useful and it's going to help corporations. In recent months, we have all been talking about AI. In fact, it all started with OpenAI's launching ChatGPT. And since then, we can see Google also launching their own chat services like Bard. We also see Firefly from Adobe that helps creators to create images from text itself and a lot more moving forward, right? And all of this really shows that this technology is very useful and shows a lot of potential to help companies to be more productive and even helping individuals to find different form of revenues from it.
Oh, that'll come in handy.
However, corporations in general are still very mindful about the use of these products, and some corporations even restrict their employees from using this. And what is the reason? It all comes down to the use of data. When we are using ChatGPT, for example, right, whatever thing that we put in is being used by ChatGPT and also OpenAI to help the algorithm to be better and better each time round. So that's why companies, they do not want their employees to put in sensitive data that will be leaked out into the public. And that is one of the biggest hurdle that we are seeing now, that companies are not utilizing such tools to improve their productivity.
Productive damn day.
And so it brings us to Palantir. So Palantir has been around to help companies to come up with insights using their data so they can make better decisions.
Let's do this!
Which helps them to become the market leader in their respective fields. So when they were introducing this AIP, right, the AI platform, right, what their AIP aims to do is to act as a ChatGPT but in a more secure and a safer environment. So in a short while, let's watch the demo video of the AIP in terms of the military side and see how useful is it. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So now let's take a quick look at Palantir's AIP to see how it's being used in the defense industry and how it can be really useful.
AIP unleashes the power of large language models and cutting-edge AI for defense and military organizations. LLMs and algorithms must be controlled in this highly regulated and sensitive context to ensure that they are used in a legal and ethical way.
Oh wow. So what this video is trying to say until this point of time is that you are able to use LLMs like ChatGPT-like functions for all different privatized network, and on top of that, right, you can set who gets to see what kind of data.
Him?
And on top of that, it gives you the tracking of who is searching what at what time and is it relevant to whatever their job scope is about. And I think for the military point of view, right, it's definitely important because it helps with the governance and it also creates a digital record that you can know what is this person actually doing. And if they are not doing something that is within their job scope, then you might be considering, are they spies or not, right?
I'm a spy!
Okay, so let's continue and see what is in store for this AIP. Okay, so in this demo that they show, right, I will do a bit of narrative about what is happening and how this actually saves a lot of time for the military personnel. Okay, so let's get started. So let's assume that the person using this software is the US and they are dealing with an unknown or potential enemy overseas. So the AIP will actually alert the US personnel that there is a potential unusual enemy activity that is happening. And when there's some movements that is going on from an enemy, right, it might signify that there is an attack that's going to be happening. So what the US have to do, right, is then find out what is happening, who is moving, what is moving, and how are they going to go about to deal with that threat. Okay, so this is where the alert comes in, and following the alert, the person actually asks for more details because this potential enemy activity is very vague, right? So what happens now is that the AIP actually tells them that this is a view of what is happening. So with the AIP showing the details of this, right, it actually gives a summary of what is happening like 8 minutes ago when they captured this and what the algorithm actually detects. So from this imagery, right, they suspect that there's 5 pieces of equipment. So what it prompts the user now, right, is to find out what kind of military unit is in this region so they can go about to deal with it or find a way to counteract this threat itself. The AIP actually prompt the user that this is the potential unit that is down on the ground, which is an armor attack battalion. But if the user feels that this is still not very clear, right, because it's, after all, this is just a likelihood. So that's why they wanted to have a clear imagery of the exact thing that's happening on the ground. And that's what the user is actually doing right now, which is to see what are the options that I can get to have pictures or live feeds from the ground itself. So then the AIP returns the information by saying that there's 2 ways you can get the imagery on the ground, either by using this MQ-9, which is a drone, or you can go about using the satellite, which takes another 39 minutes to get the imagery. So the AIP then asks the user again, which one do you want to use now? So based on the 2 different options, right, the user deemed that the MQ9 might be a faster option because you don't have to wait for 39 minutes. He tasked the AIP to get the MQ9 ready to capture the video of the particular location. So after tasking the MQ9, the drone unit, right, to capture the video of the location itself, right, the request is being sent to who? Sent to the air unit. And then when this request is sent, it needs to be approved. So that's where you can see that the air tasking order is being approved. And what happens next is that now the drone is going over to the site to take an imagery photo or video. Okay, so what you can see here is that this is the live feed of what is being detected on the ground after the drone flew over to take the video. And it shows that there is a tank and 4 individuals unit on the ground. And why is this important is because once you know the exact unit that is on the ground, right, it then gives the commanders, right, a better sensing of what kind of equipment or weapons needed to be deployed to actually disarm this tank and also disarm the soldiers itself.
They have guns, right?
So now they have finally understand who is on the ground and what kind of capabilities is there, right? Now the next step is to find out what are the ways they can go about to neutralize these threats. Okay, so now over here in the AIP, the personnel is actually asking the AIP to generate 3 different kind of actions that can be used to target this threat itself. Okay, so you can see that over here, the AIP come out with 3 different ways to go about this issue. Either firstly by the air asset, which is the F-16, or you can go about using an artillery unit, which is the HIMARS, or you can go about by sending in a tactical team, which is this Team Omega over here. And it even gives you a lot of information about how much time is required to reach there, what kind of assets being used, what kind of weapon system is being sent, and also how long it takes to reach the place, and all sorts of other information. Once the personnel have this information, right, then they can go about to see whether it's possible or is it useful or not. And usually in this military context, right, the person that comes up with this course of action, right, is not the one deciding it. So they will have to send to their higher ups.
I make the decisions here.
After the personnel send these 3 options to their commander for review, right, it then shows that the AIP has sent the options to this commander, which is called Commander Daniels, okay, for review. Okay, so let me fast forward until the point where we are now looking from the point of view as Commander Daniels, okay? So earlier on, right, whatever we just saw in the first part of the demo, right, was from Captain Emerson, and now he's sending to Commander Daniels, okay? So Commander Daniels now knows that, okay, there's 3 different ways of attacking. Commander Daniels, right, actually decided to approve the CO83, which is to send in the tactical team. So now that the commander has approved of the tactical team to be deployed, right, the next step is then to analyze the battlefield to see what kind of terrain it is and how are they going about to move with the vehicle that they have and the size of unit that they have. So now you can see on the right side, right, is that it shows you the route that is able to be used by Team Omega, and then the commander is now going to decide what is the route that is being used by this Team Omega for them to reach the threat that was being prompted. Then the AIP actually comes back with a route that is the shortest for them to reach the threat the fastest. So the commander wants to know how many Javelin missiles does this Team Omega have, right? So he prompted inside this AIP system, and this AIP system not only gives him that information, they also give them other information about relevant capabilities that might be needed, such as your micro drone, your R052 missiles, or even your FR5128 weapons as well. Okay, so once the commander knows that the Team Omega has enough Javelin missiles, which are anti-tank missiles, right, to deal with the threat itself, the next step that the commander wanted to do is to assign jammers to the communications target. And the reason for this is probably because if the communications is down, right, or it's not working, there's no way for the other parties to be alerted of this attack itself. So it's very important for them to actually jam the communications in the first place. And that's where they actually paired the different jammers to the different targets itself. So once they have actually paired the target and ready to execute, right, the AIP actually prompted whether they want to send the order now to jam the system. But the commander says no, just stand by until I'm ready to do so. Okay, so now the AIP says that it's standing by and is ready to execute. So once that is done, right, the commander basically already have all the action steps in place. So what happens now is that the commander have already thought of the action step of how they're going to attack this unit and how they're going to jam the communication systems before this attack even happens, right? So he wanted to have a summary of this whole operation plan, and that's what the AIP did to give the whole summary of what is happening, which is to have the jamming done, followed by the Team Omega moving in to destroy the threat itself. With the summary and the clarity of this whole mission, right, the commander now sends the order to the higher ups, okay? And then that's where you can see that the orders is being submitted, and this is the submitted by who and what is the status. So now after the order has been sent, everyone is ready, right? Now they are going to commence attack.
Prepare to charge!
And this is what they are using AIP to initiate the jamming operations. And then the AIP return that the jamming order has been sent. And you can see that when that is initiated, right, Team Omega is actually slowly moving towards the target itself to commence the attack. Okay. So from this demo, right, it shows me how Palantir is using their own capabilities, which is the data aggregation portion, together with LLM, right, such that they can make the whole decision-making process much faster. And what really amazes me is that the AIP is able to generate 3 different kind of attack formats using the different capabilities to go about neutralizing the target. And I believe this is saving up a lot of time for the military personnel, because instead of now finding out how many available units are able to be deployed, what kind of weapon systems are there, it really saves a lot of time by going straight into detail. What are the 3 different types of ways you can go about to neutralizing a particular target? So from this video itself, right, I really can see the potential of how Palantir is very strong and helps the military sector, right, to make faster and quicker decisions that is going to neutralize a lot of threats. Thank you so much for watching this video. So do remember to like and subscribe for more to support my channel, alright? So with that, thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!